Good day, everyone. I am Rosebert E. Ebenes, B.Ed 3 students, and this is my demonstration on how to use prose, drama, and poetry in teaching literature. In teaching literature, I will use prose, drama, and poetry by first explaining what each of these genre is and how they differ to avoid confusion from the student. So in teaching poetry, after discussing it and giving some examples of poems, I'll pick a different poem to read aloud to the class, after which I'll ask them their thoughts on the poem's title or the reason behind it. Next is, as I go along to read the poems, I will inform my students to actively listen. This will get students ready to read independently and have a discussion. After then, I can begin reading it in a rhythmic manner. The poem's abstract feeling is well represented by the rhythm. In order to become familiar with the poems, I will hand out the copies to my students or write it in the board. I read the poem aloud to my pupils before having them read it on their own. To encourage children to dig deeper to discover the meaning, I'll ask the pupils to recite the poem aloud multiple times, not just once, so that people can truly understand the poetry and ideally comprehend the message the author intended to convey, and I can also ask them to sit in a group so they can work together afterwards. Then, give an activity, which is to compose a paragraph or even just a brief summary of the main theme you took away from the poetry. Meanwhile, in prose, I will share or distribute a copy of the writing or show the story on a slide. Read the prose with my students or simply let them figure out on their own. After they have finished reading, I will ask them to write their own thoughts on the prose. Then, discuss and present their work, and it should be about the fundamentals of the language, such as the relationship between the title and the content, the characterization, character, storyline, and place. Next is to assign a task that requires students to work in a group or pairs. As a result, they will learn jointly rather or simply waiting for the teacher's reaction. Writing is an exemption. Ask them to accomplish it on their own, and last is guide them whenever they had confusion. Next is drama or role play. I will teach my students how to develop characters by imagining that I am one of the characters in the novel or story and then asking them questions about whether my character is a protagonist or antagonist. This will give the students or the readers an understanding of the differences between the characters in the novel. Next is to distribute a copy of the play script to your pupils as a guide. Allow them to read it and challenge them to understand every element of the play. They can enlist the help of their friends and you to confirm what they don't know. The next step is to practice the play in a group setting. It is now time to perform after the practice. So that's the end of my demonstration in using prose, drama, and poetry in teaching literature. Thank you.